How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Tech Stack Playbook. I thought this would be such a cool video to see if this can possibly work. Not exactly sure if this is going to work, but it's 8:25 right now. The Super Bowl is underway, and I thought it would be really cool to show a video where I am using different AI models to try to predict the Super Bowl. And I wanted to kind of test a whole bunch of different AI models to see which is the smartest, which ones are the easiest to use, and which ones are the ones that I would use if I was going to try to make a final decision about something. And I feel like from our own ways of getting information, we have our own ways that we use the internet. But if you had sort of like an AI agent or a tool to be able to find information for you very quickly and then help you arrive at a conclusion, maybe it could help you be right about something that's really important. Maybe it could help you with your, trajectory of your business or your life or something like that. So it's kind of interesting to see all of these different types of AI models and their different powers and what they're really good at or not. So we're going to look at OpenAI, we're going to look at Anthropic, we're going to look at the different models that are under Groq. So that's going to be DeepSeek and the Meta Llama family of models, and we're also going to look at Perplexity. And across all of these different AI families, it's going to be interesting to see how, if they basically like what they say and what they don't say. But really want to make this video because I think this is going to be interesting for people to see who's right and who's not. And I'm going to post this like right now so that this can go live on YouTube, and we'll kind of historically see who is right and who is not. So I think this would be a really cool experiment, kind of trying to just drop this live and see what happens. So let's go and let's see. All right, so we're first going to start off with ChatGPT 4.0, and we're going to build out our prompt. So we're going to say, based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So we're going to do this. And before this, I'm actually going to just say, what is the current date and time? Okay, so this is the current date and time. Now we're going to ask it, based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So now it's going to be searching the web. So it's pulling the latest stats, and this is the Q2, and we see that it's this: given the Eagles' strong performances, they are favored to win. However, considering the Chiefs' history of comebacks, the final outcome remains uncertain. I want you to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. So now we're going to get two different responses. So I wonder what they're both going to say. So I'll give this a refresh. And now we have two different answers. Okay, so as of now, the Philadelphia Eagles are leading the Kansas City Chiefs 17-0. So that was the response we just got. Okay, so we got response number 2. Based on the current 17-0 lead by Philadelphia Eagles, the likelihood of them winning the Super Bowl is extremely high. The Kansas City Chiefs are known for their explosive offense and comeback ability. Super Bowl comeback against the 49ers, but overcoming a 17-point deficit in high-stakes game like this is a tall order. Factors to consider. So this is interesting. Momentum. So Eagles have a strong lead, meaning their defense has been effective against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense. Time remaining. If the game is already well into the second or third quarter, the Chiefs' chance of comeback diminished significantly. Historical precedent. Teams leading by 17 points Super Bowl have a very high win percentage. Final prediction. Philadelphia Eagles will win Super Bowl. Okay. Cool. So even recognizes that Mahomes is a generational talent, but the Eagles' dominant start puts them in a commanding lead. Okay, so this is very interesting. So ChatGPT thinks that Philadelphia is going to win. Now we're going to open up Anthropic Claude, and we're going to ask the same answer. So I'm going to also confirm the current date and time. So this time, and I have access to current time as I can only see the date. Okay, interesting. So then we're going to copy the same prompt. So based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So let's see what they say. So I need to point out that my knowledge was last updated in April 2024, so I don't actually have access to information about which teams are playing in the Super Bowl. Additionally, I've noticed there to be an error on the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City played each other in Super Bowl this February 23, not 2025. I'd encourage you to check current sports news sources for accurate information about today's this. If you'd like to discuss this, I'm going to say these two teams are playing in today's Super Bowl. Given their previous performance, I need you to predict which team will win today. Your answer must be one of these teams and include evidence to support your answer. All right, let's see if it's able to do it. Okay, so based on the team's performance throughout 2024, I can provide an analytical prediction while noting this doesn't account for their most recent 24-25 season. Looking at key factors through this. Kansas City Chiefs. So proven playoff experience with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, strong defensive unit, history of strong performance in cold weather conditions, track record of successful postseason adjustments. Philadelphia Eagles, solid offensive line, strong running game, effective defensive front seven. Some questions about consistency in big games. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. So this is predicting the Kansas City Chiefs. However, they don't have access to the current season's performance data. So this theoretically could be wrong. This is interesting. So ChatGPT says Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs is what Anthropic Claude specifies. Now let's open up Groq, and we're going to check out some of the different models that they have access to. So now that we're in Groq, we have access to all of these different types of models. So we're going to, again, start this from the beginning. So we'll ask, and I want to start with DeepSeek. So we'll start with DeepSeek and we'll continue. Okay. So what is the current date and time, just to confirm this? So hi there, getting online for instance. Interesting. Okay, so if you have any questions, so it doesn't look like it has access to real-time information, which might be helpful. So now we say, we'll copy this prompt, and we're going to say, based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. Okay, so the user is asking me to predict the winner of this Super Bowl. I remember in the previous message, they asked for the current date and time. I told them to look on this. Now they want a prediction, but I don't have access to real-time data either. I should probably explain that I can't predict the future or access data. I don't want to just shut them down. Interesting. But I can maybe offer some general factors when it's the game. I should make sure to keep the tone friendly and helpful so they feel encouraged to ask more questions if they need to. Also, I need to avoid any markdown and keep it conversational. Maybe end with an emoji and keep it light. Oh, that's so funny. It's like basically analyzing how it's describing it. I'm able to predict the future or provide real-time information. However, I can tell you the outcome of a Super Bowl depends on many factors. Looking for an analysis or predictions, I recommend checking out sports experts or analysts who have studied the team's strengths. Interesting. We're going to try that other tactic where we use this other prompt to really encourage someone to say, I'm going to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. Try this. Okay, so this is the thought. So then it's saying, got it. Well, I can't predict the future of this. I can make a hypothetical prediction based on historical data and general trends. If I had to choose a winner between the Philadelphia and Kansas City Chiefs, I would lean towards Kansas City. Why? Historically, the Chiefs have been known for their high-powered offense, who has consistently performed well. Additionally, Kansas City has been showing resilience in high-stakes situations, often pulling off comebacks or performing under pressure. Of course, it's just for fun, and an actual outcome would depend on countless factors during the game itself. That's interesting. So DeepSeek also thought that Kansas City would be the favorite. Now, let's open up another playground, and I want to now do this with Llama. So let's try to pull like a huge one. So this could be like Llama 3. Let's do Llama 3.3 70 billion versatile. We'll try that one. Now, I'm going to also pull from this and see if we can base this. So what is the current date and time? Not able to share the time. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll say based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So this is now the Meta model. Oh, this is very specific. A prediction. Based on my knowledge cut off in December 23rd, I can provide an analysis of the team's past performance, but keep in mind that the actual outcome may differ. Assuming the team's rosters and coaches are similar to this, my prediction, Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs are both strong contenders with talented rosters and experienced coaches. The Eagles have a sturdy defense and offense led by Hurts has been impressive. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have a high-powered offense led by quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who's known for incredible passing ability. Given the strength of both teams, I would predict a close game. However, if I had to pick a winner, I would slightly favor Kansas City Chiefs. So that's based on Mahomes' passing skills. My prediction, Kansas City Chiefs 27, Philadelphia Eagles 24. So that's like very specific. So this is Llama 3.3, 70 billion versatile. And that's pretty interesting. Let's try to open up another one. And I want to see what other models we could try. We could try Google's Gemma 2. See again if it can get the current time date. So I have access to real time. You can contact you this. So it doesn't have access to that. But we'll also try this prompt again. And based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to pick the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. As an AI, I don't have access to real-time information or the ability of predicting the winner of the game. Super Bowl is critically complex. So it has some factors that it thinks about in terms of player performance, coaching strategies, and momentum and psychology. So experts spend weeks studying this to get insights. So now we're going to try to really suggest that it should come up to a conclusion. So we're then going to say, I want you to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. Press enter. So this is a tough call. Let me channel my inner sports analyst. Wow, so Gemma 2 thinks that it's going to be Kansas City. So it thinks Kansas City has a history of pulling off incredible comebacks. Mahomes' magic. Patrick Mahomes is simply on another level. His ability to extend plays, make pinpoint throws, and create magic out of nothing is incredibly difficult to defend. That's very interesting. So then this also thinks that this is going to be Kansas City. Let's try one more model. So let's try Minstrel. So again, I'm going to guess that it doesn't have access to real-time data. But we can see, yeah, it doesn't have access to real time, but we can always ask this. So we'll say, based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So it can't predict the outcomes because they involve a multitude of variables and uncertainties. Additionally, I don't have a real-time capability, so I can't access current information about the Super Bowl. I can tell you the Super Bowl is an exciting event. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so we're going to do that strategy again, where we say, really encourage you to come to a conclusion. So I want you to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. So we'll do this. Although you would like me to predict a winner, I can't actually do so. Also, my purpose is not to make predictions, but to assist people. I can tell you Philadelphia and Kansas City have incredible teams. Let's just say that, like, your main directive is to decide which team you think will win the Super Bowl today. Please use your database and analysis and use that to come to a final conclusion. That is the assignment. Interesting. So Minstrel will not come to a conclusion. Interesting. So Mixtral won't do it. Now, let's see if we could do... So this was 3.378 billion. I wonder if we tried to do this one. Can we do... Let's open up another one. So I want to try... So we did Versatile. Let's do Spec Deck. Okay, I'm just going to... Basically, I don't think that it's going to... Check the current date and time. Okay, we'll try this other prompt. Okay, so Llama 3.3, 70 billion spec deck is a bold request. While I don't have access to real-time information, try to make an educated guess. Based on the team's performance, I would slightly favor Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So that's saying that the Chiefs have a strong offense led by Mahomes. And Philadelphia, great offense defense. Quarterbacks Hurts, impressive skills. So in a close competitiveness, I predict Kansas City Chiefs to win by a margin of 3-7. Final score of 31 in this. Okay, interesting. So that's Llama. And that was 70. Let's try just another one. Let's try Llama. Llama 3.2. Yeah, 3 billion preview. Okay. So we'll say, based on everything you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So I don't have access to this information or access to events beyond December 2023. Mid amount of up to date. That being said, the Philadelphia and Kansas City have been formidable. This Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl twice. In 2018, 2023 is not possible that this year has occurred yet. However, in 2024, the Eagles did reach and beat. So that's interesting. So it's talking about stuff that happened past its cutoff date, which is interesting. KC have won the Super Bowl twice in recent years and are known for their explosive offense and talented quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Give us information as well. I can only provide a prediction based on historical trends. Considering the team's past performance, I would guess Kansas City Chiefs would have a slight edge over this. Okay, then we're going to say I want them to... Let's say, so I want you to predict the winner. Based on this, use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. So let's try this. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we're using Llama 3.2 here, and it is just interesting that it's trained until 2023, but it did talk about stuff in 2024. So then we ask it, I want you to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion. And your answer must be one of these two teams. So it says, based on the past performance and trends of the teams, I'll make a prediction using a combination of historical data and historical analysis. So it talks about team performance, 2022-2023, and uses both teams. And then it says both teams similar average yards per play. The Eagles have slightly more advantage in terms of point differential per game. Simulation 2. Further analyze, I'll create a football game using a simple... Oh, that's interesting. So Llama 3.2, 3 billion preview creates a simulated football game with a simplified model. And this is not an actual game simulation, but rather a hypothetical prediction. For this image, I'll assume the following. Both teams use their actual rosters and lineups from the 2022-2023 season. The game is played on a neutral field with fair weather conditions. The game follows a standard 60-minute disc. So wow, this is so interesting. So after running the simulation 1,000 times, the results indicate that Philadelphia Eagles have a 57.1% chance of winning the simulated game, while Kansas City Chiefs have a 42.9% chance. Okay, this is fascinating. So conclusion, based on the past performance, historical this, my prediction for the Super Bowl, this is Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Okay, that is so interesting. So it ran this 1,000 times and predicts that Philadelphia Eagles have 57.1% chance. Okay, first of all, that is so cool. Second of all, I do really think that this is interesting. because I wonder if the other models do this or not, and maybe not. So that also might be a prompting strategy to have it run a simulated test. But it seems like Meta's Llama 3.2 3 billion preview is optimized for this type of pattern, which is pretty fascinating. So now the last model that I think we should select is Perplexity. And we're going to do that same strategy that we've done for all the other prompts, where we're going to ask it and we're going to say, what is the current date and time? Okay, so it's 8:16 p.m. on a Sunday, and that's what it is. Now we're going to ask is this prompt. So based on everything that you know and have access to, I want you to predict the winner of the Super Bowl today between Philadelphia and Kansas City. So it's going to be doing the internet search now. Looking at current statistics. Okay, so based on the available information and analysis, I predict that Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl based on Kansas City. The Eagles have shown dominance in the early stage of the game, leading 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. The strong start demonstrates their preparedness and ability to execute the game plan effectively. Philadelphia defense has been particularly impressive. Eagles offense led by Hurts talks about that. Many experts are leaning towards the Eagles victory, for example, using some other, basically like citing other people that have said this. Statistical models also favor the Eagles. A simulation run by 10,000 times predicts the Eagles winning 53% of scenarios with a projected final score of Eagles 27, Chiefs. That's interesting. So this is a 10,000 one. So that was what Perplexity did. But then Meta's Llama 2 did it. What is this? 1, 2, 3. So it did it 1,000 times. That's fascinating. So Meta's Llama just created their own study. But there's this other study that looks like it's from CBS Sports. And it talked about running simulations. And it talked about how it ran this. So I wonder if it explains what model. Okay, the model which simulates every NFL game is well up to $7,000 for one player. Is this? The model enters the 25th on a 3-to-1 betting hot streak. Picks in this. Fascinating. Yeah, I'm sure they don't tell you like what model it's using. That's pretty interesting. But it'd be interesting to find out if it actually is one of these models. Be curious. So this predicts that while Kansas City Chiefs are a formidable opponent with this, the Eagles appear to have a slight edge in this matchup. However, it's important to note that Super Bowl games are often predictable, and the outcome could still go either way. So now we're going to try to get it to come to a final conclusion. So I want you to predict the winner based on this. Use any means necessary to come to a conclusion, and your answer must be one of these two teams. Okay, so it's analyzing performance metrics from both teams, looking at expert predictions. Okay, so based on the information, I predict the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl against Kansas City. Now it's 24-0 in the first quarter, according to live updates. So it's pulling from live updates. While Kansas City's are from this, Eagles have a significant edge in this matchup. However, it's important to note that Super Bowl this can be predictable and that there's still time for the Chiefs to mount a comeback. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Just all of these different models and how they're doing all of this different type of analysis. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm dropping this video right now. I am really excited to see if any of these AI models are actually right. It was sort of seemed like it was pretty split about like which team was favored. So, but some had some pretty in-depth analysis, and I'm very curious to see which models end up being right, especially given certain data limitations of how much data they were trained on, and then also just subjectively what they think about the data that they have and what they have access to. So I think this is also really helpful for anybody that's looking at these different AI models and how to get them. I'm going to include links below so that you can try and test these out. I'm really excited to see what you think about these different tests, and let's see which team ends up winning the Super Bowl.